Hey, welcome back to another installment of the Women in Publishing Summit 2019, second annual Women in Publishing Summit. I'm trying to get myself together here. Today with us, or in this particular meeting, we are going to be talking about something that is of interest to anyone who is trying to sell books, and that's marketing, and in particular using Amazon ads. So lots of people will put their books out onto Amazon and expect it's just going to sell like hotcakes. And very shortly we realize that is not the case, that we need a little bit more help through different marketing efforts to get our books selling. One fantastic tool to be able to do that is Amazon Marketing Services, AMS, or Amazon Ads, if you'd like to call them just that for easy. Today we are interviewing Diane Windsor, who is a traditional publisher. She's owns Motina Books, an independent publisher in the Dallas area. She's always loved books. She spent many late nights in high school scaring herself to death reading Stephen King novels, which I can attest to. I'll never forget when I read It when I was in like ninth grade, and could never look at a clown again. She likes to work with moms. She founded Motina Books to help moms tell their stories, both fiction and nonfiction, in particular single moms. She's got a very special place in our heart for single moms, as she was one for a while. She lives in Allen, Texas, with her husband and their two boxers. When she's not writing, editing, or formatting, she's probably baking sourdough bread. Yummy, her latest addiction. So welcome, Diane. Thank you so much for being a part of this presentation. I actually came to know you because you were a guest of the last conference, and then we connected and started speaking. So it's really fun to see how through this conference we're building connections with other people in the industry, right, other writers, other publishers, and then building those relationships together, which is, of course, another main element of the conference. So what did I miss in your bio? What else do you want our audience to know?
Oh, you pretty much got it, Alexa. That sounds great. And at first, I kind of started out with writing my own books and putting them up on Amazon. But then I realized I love doing this for other authors. I really enjoy the editing process and formatting and putting it all together until we have this beautiful finished product. And then, of course, no matter how perfect the product is, you have to try to get it sold, right? You have to try to get people to buy it. So
absolutely,
that's why I'm very interested in different forms of marketing now, and very much interested in Amazon advertising. I think that's really up and coming.
Oh, definitely. And I've seen some reports from some of the people in the industry that I follow, and the numbers, if done properly, are just staggering.
Right.
How much sales increase. So, I mean, it's definitely something that we're playing around with our authors. I am new to Amazon ads.
Mm-hmm.
I follow Brian Meeks, and I also follow a lot of things that Kindlepreneur Dave Chesson puts out.
Yes, ma'am.
Great stuff on Amazon ads. But just so we're going to, Diane and I are going to chat for a couple minutes here, and then she's actually prepared a presentation so that she can show some numbers and some screens and some how-tos along. But actually, that's my assumption. Will you tell us what's going to be in the presentation?
Oh, yeah. Exactly, Alexis. So basically, my presentation is going to be an introduction or an overview of Amazon ads. And I'm going to talk about the terminology, the best way to use them. You mentioned Brian Meeks and Dave Chesson, the Kindlepreneur. I have, received training from both of them, and they have a lot of good advice. And I really want to do kind of an intro for people who are very new to, cost per click advertising, which honestly, I think is most of us. I was very new to this as well. I just figured I need to learn this in order to sell books. Yeah. So we're going to go over the concepts, the important concepts, and then I'm going to take the viewers through step-by-step ad creation and also monitoring your ads, which is very important. You want to see which ads are doing well and which ads aren't, and which ads are costing you a lot of money and which ads have a good return on investment. Yeah. So we'll talk all about that. And I'd like to encourage people to contact me as well if they have any questions. That's no problem.
Absolutely. We'll make sure that all of your contact information is right down below so that people can reach out to
Okay,
you.
great.
But I'm excited about it. I've run a couple of ads now, and after I got some additional training, I went back and revamped some things. And so
Mhm.
I haven't been in there since I've revamped. I need to go back in there and check and see how
Yeah,
things are doing. But you're absolutely right. Like any marketing services platform, you do need to be monitoring because you
mhm.
can easily just see money just whoosh right out of your account if you're not
Right,
paying attention.
right.
And I'm greatly looking forward to your presentation.
I've heard some horror stories about that, about
Yeah.
people who have not realized how much they're spending. I've
Uh-huh.
also heard that, it's hard to get Amazon to spend a lot of your money. It's easier to throw money at Facebook,
Yes.
but you want Amazon to spend your money because
Yes.
that means that you're getting more clicks and everything. But you still have to keep an eye on that because you can be unpleasantly surprised, and we don't want that.
No, not at all. So this will be great. So anyone who
Yeah,
has, and I would say if you haven't published your book yet, still watch this presentation because I think it'll give you a lot of good ideas. Diane mentioned to me before we started recording that she's going to talk about, the importance of a good cover and things like this. And these are items that as you are preparing your book, you can start thinking about in terms of, okay, I'm going to be putting this on ads. Is that really what the cover that I want? And those types of things. So it's good to get this stuff in your mind, even if you're not there. If you've already started using ads, you definitely want to watch this so you can make sure you're doing the things that Diane talks about. And if you've never even heard of Amazon ads, then this is exactly where you need to
mhm.
be.
That's right. That's
All
right.
right. Well, thank you so much for providing this presentation. And just briefly, please let everybody know where they can reach out to you after they've completed this presentation.
Sure, you bet. My website address is www.motinabooks.com. That's Motina books.com. And my email is Diane, Diane, at motinabooks.com. And I'm happy to hear from people with questions. I'm happy to help if I can.
Great. Well, I have to ask you before we officially switch to the presentation, how did you come up with the name of your company?
Well, because I wanted to focus on helping mothers with their publishing their stories, I thought I would find a cool foreign name that means mother to
Aha.
name my company. And I am German, but the German word for mother is Mutter, Mutter. And I'm like, it's a mutter? People are going to say mutter books. It's like, that doesn't sound right. So Motina is actually Lithuanian. And I thought, well, that's okay. I can deal with that. And I think it flows and it's easy to spell. So that's how I got my name.
It's very cool. All
Thanks.
right. Well, thank you so much for this presentation, and I look forward to learning all of your knowledge on this topic.
Thanks, Alexa.
Hello, my name is Diane Windsor, and I'm the owner of Motina Books. We publish books by and for mothers, and there is a special place in our hearts for single moms. I am a baby publisher. I started publishing my own books about 3 years ago, and I officially published my first contracted book for an author who wasn't my friend in 2018. But of course, now we are good friends because publishing a book together is a very emotional process. I have taken several courses on Amazon ads, some free and some paid, and I'm very interested in learning more and more about this advertising method. This training class is intended to be an introduction on advertising with paid Amazon ads. I will point you to other resources that will help you really dig into the best way to create and monitor your ads, and I encourage you to learn from as many different people as possible. Everyone has something new to teach. Also, please be aware that new and different things are constantly happening within Amazon. They change policies and procedures constantly. Sometimes it seems like they just make these changes on a whim. This means that they may change the way Amazon advertising works and the way their dashboard looks. So I just wanted you to be aware that even though I'm explaining a certain way of doing things that works right now, this may change in the future. I will do my best to keep you informed of these changes. Advertising print and ebooks using AMS, or Amazon Marketing Services, has become a very successful marketing avenue for independent authors and publishers. Like any marketing method, success won't happen overnight. But advertising with Amazon gives authors a way of getting their books in front of new readers. And you'll be able to monitor the success of each ad campaign. The AMS dashboard will show you how many sales are generated by each campaign. This is unusual for traditional advertising, such as television commercials or print ads. It's difficult to know how many sales are made with a particular TV ad, but AMS shows you immediately. We're going to go over this dashboard in detail, but right here you can see how much money you've spent on a particular campaign and how much you've earned. It's important that as you develop your marketing plan, you include AMS as a part of your overall strategy. You also need to include a mailing list, social media campaign, advanced reader team, pre-orders, and anything else you can imagine. This presentation will have two sections: overview of important concepts. I will provide an overview of important concepts that you need to learn. This will include terminology and best practices when creating an ad campaign. Step-by-step instructions for running successful Amazon ad campaigns. Next, I'll show you exactly how to create a new ad from scratch, how to choose the right keywords, how to monitor the ads, and what to do if you're not seeing the results you think you should be seeing. I'd like to say right now that it's a good idea to have many ads running at the same time. Granted, the more ads you have, the more time you'll need to spend monitoring them and optimizing them. But honestly, once you get the hang of it, you can create ads pretty quickly and easily, and you can do it while you're sitting down watching This Is Us. I think it's important that you define your own version of success. I've been seeing consistent sales by using Amazon ad campaigns, and I'm very pleased with that. They may not be thousands of books each month, but I'm still happy to see these consistent sales. Of course, the more time you dedicate to your marketing, the more success you will see. These terms are standard in the online advertising industry. Whether you're campaigning on Amazon, Facebook, or Google, you'll hear these words on a regular basis. Impressions. These are the number of times your ad will appear on Amazon. The keywords you choose will drive where the impressions appear. If you have a higher bid for your keywords, your ad will have more impressions. Clicks. A click refers to any time a potential customer clicks on your ad. Average cost per click. The average cost per click, or CPC, is the amount of money that you will spend anytime someone clicks on your ad. This is something you can control from the dashboard when you create the ad. It's also important to monitor how much you're spending on clicks. We'll cover all of this in detail a little later. There are two different types of ads that you can create from the AMS dashboard. These are sponsored product ads and lock screen ads. Product display ads are similar to the new lock screen ads, but they will be retired permanently by Amazon in early February. In this training session, we're going to focus on sponsored product ads because they seem to be the most successful for authors. The difference between the two is that the lock screen ads appear on devices such as your Kindle. Depending upon the size of your device, the ad will appear in one of these formats. Sponsored product ads are based on keywords, and you can also target these ads based on interests, other authors, and other book titles. Now, it can take a day or two for your ad to turn on. As you monitor your ads, you may see that they'll run for a while and then turn off. This means that you may not see an increase in impressions or clicks. That's okay. You can easily terminate the ad and create more. Or they may continue to generate impressions, clicks, and sales. Just be aware that either situation is normal. In order to be successful with Amazon ads, you need a few things. The first is a great cover. We already know that in order to sell your wonderful book, you need to have an eye-catching cover that looks professional and conveys your book's genre. You can try creating your cover on your own, but I do recommend using a professional graphic designer to create the best cover possible. I know a lot of authors who want to have a unique looking cover. They want it to be different from all the others out there, but that strategy could backfire. Readers expect a thriller or a romance cover to look a certain way. They don't want unique. They want to know what they're getting. Browse the bestseller list on Amazon to get a good idea of what the top-selling books in your genre look like. Okay, so there was a time that I did try to create my own covers, and these are two of the disasters that I ended up with. Now, if you are a graphic designer or if you really want to learn how to do it the right way, I absolutely encourage you to try. But do some research, take some classes about what makes a good cover and what you really need. You may discover that you have that ability, or you may discover that you really need to hire a professional to do it for you. You also need compelling ad copy. Writing copy is so very different than writing a book. You'd never guess that writing a couple of sentences could be so difficult. Your ad copy needs to be a true call to action. It needs to be gripping. Write several different pieces of copy to use in your various ad campaigns. Okay, so here are some examples of ad copy on Amazon. I really wanted to give this example because in this little chunk, we've got some good examples and some bad examples. The first two, I think, are really good. They are gripping. Ex-Marine Shane Ryan finally returns home, but danger lurks as his ghost-filled past comes back to haunt him in ways he could never have imagined. That is very good ad copy. We've got, we want to find out what happened in this guy's past, right? Footsteps in the attic, scratching behind closet doors. I think that is a really good copy too. And it indicates that we've got a horror story going on here. The one for the book entitled My Heroic Breasts, this is not good ad copy. It says, "This is our story I am trying to tell. As I have found myself within you all, I hope that you will find yourself within these texts." That really doesn't grab me, and it doesn't make me want to read this book. So here's some good and bad examples. Now for the Murphy's Miracle book, I used a copy like, "My dog is part of my family. I will never stop looking for her. Never." And I think that's pretty gripping. And also the one where I say, "Bitter cold, hungry predators. How will she survive in the wilderness all by herself?" Just make sure that when you're writing ad copy, it's a true call to action that makes a shopper want to buy your book. You also need a very compelling description of your book on the book's Amazon detail page. When I first started publishing on Amazon, I simply copied the blurb from the back cover of my book onto my Amazon description page. I didn't realize that this description also needs to be a call to action. You can include more information than you have in your blurb, and you can even format it using some simple HTML code. Dave Chesson, the Kindlepreneur, has some really cool free resources available on his website. Formatting your book description for your Amazon page is one of them. It will make your Amazon page stand out from the others. You can do some really cool formatting things like bold, underline, italics, and have different size fonts, bullet lists. It's really neat to be able to format your description in this way because not a lot of people are doing this. When creating sponsored product ads, you'll use a keyword list to make sure that your ad appears in the right place, for example, with titles that are in the same genre as your book. Amazon encourages advertisers to put together a list of as many keywords as possible, like hundreds of keywords. You can certainly do this on your own, but there are tools available that make this task so much easier and faster. The most commonly used tools are KD Spy, Kindle Samurai, and KDP Rocket. I use KDP Rockets to choose my keywords, so that's what I'm going to demonstrate to you today. KDP Rocket was developed by Dave Chesson, commonly known as the Kindlepreneur. While it isn't a free tool, it's absolutely worth the price. And once you purchase it, you'll receive free software updates forever. Dave stays on top of the changes that Amazon makes, seemingly on a whim sometimes, and makes sure that KDP Rocket is updated in order to incorporate these changes. KDP Rocket does more than select keywords, and I encourage you to view Dave's instructional videos that will teach you everything you want to know. In this video, I'll only discuss using KDP Rocket to generate a keyword list. In 2018, I published a book for an author entitled Murphy's Miracle, One Dog's Wild Journey. When I first began advertising Murphy's Miracle, I built my keyword list based on other books in that genre. This included A Dog's Purpose, Wish, and Old Yeller. As we began seeing sales, we could see which other books customers purchased along with Murphy's Miracle. So I created ad campaigns based on those books. Okay, so let's go ahead and build our list of keywords using KDP Rocket. I'm currently on my Murphy's Miracle Amazon details page, and I'm going to go ahead and take a look at my list of also bots that I have here. And I've already used most of these books to create keywords, but I haven't used Wish Tree yet by Catherine Applegate, and it is a #1 bestseller, so let's go ahead and give that one a shot. Alrighty, now there's a lot more to KDP Rocket than just selecting AMS keywords, and I recommend that you do go to the Kindlepreneur's website and you watch some of his videos, because he's got some really great in-depth training videos on how KDP Rocket can really help you with sales. But today we're going to go ahead and click on AMS keywords, and we're going to type in our book title, Wish Tree, and click Go Get 'em Rocket. And there we go. I think it's still collecting. Okay, the blue, this is our little progress bar down here. Now what we want to do is we want to export our list of keywords based on Wish Tree to a spreadsheet. So we'll click on Export. We're going to put it in the right directory. Type in, give your spreadsheet file a descriptive name. I click enter, and now it's there. So if we go into that file now, there it is, Wish Tree. We'll double click it. Okay, so if you double click on the divider between the two columns, it'll spread it out for you so you can see what you have. Now the first thing we want to do is anything in the B column, just go ahead and select all of that. And we're going to do a Control X to cut it. And we'll scoot down to the end of the list in our A column. Place our cursor right there. And Control V to paste all of the cut items into that column. We want everything to be in one column. Then we're going to select everything in our A column. And we're going to go to Data and click on Remove Duplicates. Now I am using Excel. If you use a different type of spreadsheet application, I would imagine that you have the same sort of functionality, but I don't know that for sure. But this is how you do it in Excel. So then you've got column A selected, and we're going to click on OK. And it shows that 56 duplicate values were found and removed, and that's great because that does include all those blank lines that we have. Actually, for some reason, there's always like one little blank line left over, so we'll get rid of that. Okay, so now we are ready to use this list of keywords in our Amazon ads. And basically, when we create a new ad campaign, we're going to name it based on the list of keywords. That's how I've done it before. Okay, now I want to go ahead and show you another good way to find keywords with which you can build a new keyword list and therefore a new ad campaign. Here we are on the Amazon advertising dashboard. I am going to scoot down below our graphs here. We'll look at that in a little more detail in a little bit, and we'll get down to our columns with all of our data here. So you can see here's a list of all of the campaigns that are currently running. The columns can be sorted based upon the information that you would like to see. So by default, you're seeing the smallest to the largest, but then if I click the column heading again, then it'll show me the largest to the smallest values. And that's what I want to see. I want to see which campaigns are generating the most impressions and, of course, the highest number of sales as well. So I'll click on sales, and now here are my my 0 sales. But if I click on sales again, I can see that the campaign generating the most sales as well as the most impressions is where the red fern grows. And so what I would like to do is click on the campaign itself to kind of dig into the details a little bit. And here I see another graph. And this is really cool because if I click on Add Metric, I can go ahead and select different metrics of the campaign that I would like to see. If I want to see the average cost per click and add that to the other items up here, the other metrics, then I just click on that item. So now I can see all of these: the spend, the sales, average cost of sales, impressions, and the cost per click. Now, if I want to remove this, I just simply click on the X to remove it from the metric. The Add Metric button kind of works as a toggle. So if I click it and then I decide I don't want to make any changes, I can go ahead and click it again to get out of there. The date range option is very cool now because Amazon has added the ability for advertisers to take a look at differences between different dates, which is very, very handy. It used to be just a one-shot total snapshot of everything that had ever happened within a campaign, and this is so much better. So if I want to see the differences in data between December 31st and January 5th, then I simply click on that, click Save, and now it shows me all of that information. And not much happened. Not much happened that week. But I'm going to go ahead and put it back to lifetime. That is the default, and that's fine with me for this purpose. All right, so that's those are ad statistics, and the ad campaign is listed at the bottom. Now, if I click on targeting, this is what I specifically want to show you about keywords. That, again, we have our columns. And again, I would like to go ahead and see which of the keywords within my original keyword list is generating the most sales. So if I click on the sales column, whoops, and here I can see that the keyword holds, it's generating the most sales. So I can build a new keyword list based on the word holds. Then we've got the animal, Alan Gratz, Jennifer Lee Schatz, and so on, which have also generated sales. I just wanted to show you that there are multiple ways of generating good keyword lists, and this is simply one of those additional ways to do that. Okay, so let's go ahead and create a sponsored product advertisement from scratch. So the first thing we're going to do is go to advertising.amazon.com. .amazon.com. I know it said .co.uk, but I am in the US, and so I'm doing .com. We will sign in. We're going to select the middle option, Advertising Console. Click Next. And this is my email, and here's my password. I don't mind if you guys see my email because I'd love to hear from you. Okay, and here is our advertising campaign dashboard. Hang on a minute. I mentioned a couple things earlier. First, that Amazon will make changes to their products and their systems seemingly on a whim at the drop of a hat. And second, they did exactly that on January 8th, 2019. Now, our dashboard looks completely different than what we have here. You're going to sign in the same way, but now we'll switch over to what the new dashboard looks like and take it from there. But again, please be prepared to see changes and updates at any time. And now you can see the new and improved Amazon advertising dashboard. And in my opinion, it really is better. And I will tell you why in a minute. I'll point out the things that I think are an improvement. So first we have our snapshot, our graph. We can see by default, it's showing us our sales and our average cost of sales for a certain time period. And this is a lifetime. We can easily change the time period or the date range by clicking this button up here. So say we want to see our last 30 days. That's an easy one because we just click on last 30 days. And here we go. It even breaks it down by day, which is beautiful because in the past, before we had this particular dashboard, you would only see a snapshot of everything, basically. We did not have this date range option. You saw all sales, all impressions, all the total average cost of sale number. You were not able to see a delta or a difference from one week to the next or from one day to the next, which is very important. And we'll talk about that when we talk about monitoring our ads. Let's see, we'll go back to our date range. We can just look at yesterday and today. Or actually, that was just yesterday. Okay, let's click on this again. So let's click on December 21st to start and say January 3rd to end. There we go. Now we have a few weeks and we get the same, a snapshot that indicates that time frame. So play around with this. It's very cool. We'll click on lifetime again, which is a default. Now let's go ahead and take a look at our columns. This is our default column layout, and we can customize this as well. If we click on customizing columns, we can say, oh, well, I want to see my impressions, which I really do. I'm very interested in my impressions. You might want to be able to also see your cost per click, your click-through rate, but I'm going to click those off because I really am mostly interested in my impressions. I don't care too much about my budget. That's okay. I know what the budget is that I typically set for my ads. And then I'll go ahead and click apply. And now my impressions show up where they weren't here before. So that makes me happy. Okay. Alrighty, the active button, if you click this, it simply pauses your ad. You can see now it's paused. The status is paused instead of delivering, and it's very easy to click it back on. You can tell the type is a sponsored product, which is what we said is the most best and most effective for authors, and that's what we're going to specialize in. Under details, this gives you the details of your ad, that it's live, it's delivering. Targeting is manual. That means we enter our own keywords, which I always think is a good idea. Our start date, there's no end date because I didn't specify one. Total number of impressions since beginning. The amount of money I've spent on our ads. and the number of sales I've had and our average cost of sales. Now, I could easily go ahead and copy this if I want to, and then maybe make a small change, such as change the copy or something like that. One of the new features that was added with this new dashboard is the ability to perform the same action on multiple ads, which is pretty cool because that wasn't available before. So if I click on, now I can either click on this checkbox to select all, of course, or I can go ahead and just say, well, I'm going to click on this and this and this, and choose the ones that I want to adjust. We can adjust the budget. We could adjust the end date. We can pause it or archive it. And if it's already paused, we can enable it as well. So this is a really cool new feature. This way you don't have to go into each ad to modify it. And that is a plus. So as we said, we're going to go ahead and create a campaign from scratch. So we'll go back up to the top and click on the Create Campaign button. As I mentioned earlier, we're going to stick with our sponsored product ads, lock screen ads. That is available. Product display ads is grayed out because they're not going to support it anymore. So we'll click on Continue. Now, when I give my campaign a name, I like to be really specific. So I'm going to start with the name of the book, or an abbreviation for the name of the book that I'm going to advertise for. So it's going to be SS for smokescreen. It's going to be a sponsored product, and it's going to be a keyword ad. The keyword list is going to be based on Crazy Rich Asians, and it's going to cost 0.28 cents per bid. Okay, I'm not going to enter an end date. And for daily budget, you can go as low as $5. I usually go around $20, and this is per day. Now, I don't want you to get too worried about that amount. You're really not going to be running up that much in advertising costs per day. Targeting, I like to do manual targeting, and that's where I enter my own keywords. You can try automatic. Throughout this entire process, I really encourage you to play around, try different things. I'm kind of teaching you the basics here, and I'm showing you what has worked for me so far. But don't be afraid to play around and to try different things. All right, so ad format. It's going to be a custom text ad, which of course I want to do because I like writing my own ad copy and trying to make it as compelling and gripping as possible. It is possible to use a standard ad, which is an ad that doesn't have any copy in it, any text. You can try that too. Like I said, play around. Alrighty, now we're going to scroll down and I'm going to find my book Smokescreen. Now this is the ebook, and I'm going to click add. I can also, well, not also, instead of this, I could have selected my print copy if I wanted to, but for this exercise, I'm going to try my ebook. We can only add one book to a campaign at this time. That may change in the future because Amazon. We're going to select keyword targeting for this particular campaign. Product targeting is in beta right now, and I'm going to show you an example of that once we're done with this one. But since it is in beta, there's not a whole lot of info out there right now. Now, Amazon always sets the default keyword bid a little high because they want to make money, right? But I really don't think it's necessary to have it that high. So like I said, we're going to do 28 for each keyword. Now we're going to click on here. Oh, here's Amazon suggested keywords. We don't want to worry about those. They're not going to help much. And so we'll click on enter keywords, and we're going to upload the keywords from one of our spreadsheets that we created earlier. So here's my Crazy Rich Asians spreadsheet. I'm just going to click on that A column and highlight everything. Click on Control C to copy. And let's go back to my campaign. And Control V to paste it all in. And they are there. Don't forget to click on Add Keywords because they're not there until you do that. And now they are there. And you can see, where are they? 436 keywords have been added. Now, I have all of my keyword bids at the same price of 28 cents. I usually keep it that way. Now, Amazon is going to give you a suggested bid for each one with the option of applying that bid. If you want to do that, please go right ahead. But I'm going to just kind of keep mine all at 28 cents. Some are lower and some are higher. But I'll keep that like that there. And we'll scoot down again. Negative keywords. This is not something that I have played around with much. But the way it works is that if you enter negative keywords or negative phrases, and if there's a match, your ad most definitely will not be shown for anything that matches those keywords. I know that there are some authors and publishers who really enjoy using this feature, but I just haven't learned enough about it at this point. All right, now our custom text under our creative section. I have some ad copy here, and I'm just going to go ahead and pick one and copy it and paste it in here. A single mom, her teenage son, what could possibly go wrong? And now we're ready to launch the campaign. You will receive an email from Amazon saying that your advertisement is in review. We'll hop back to Campaign Manager and get rid of this again. And it can take up to 24 hours for your advertisement to be reviewed or and then approved or rejected. Typically, I've seen the approvals come in pretty quickly. 112. Okay, here's the one that I just entered. The SSSPKW, Crazy Rich Asians. I'm going to click on that so you can see what it looks like before it has been approved. No data available. So this is right when you send it for approval, but you will see very shortly that it will say pending review. Do I have any others that are in that state? No. This one, for example, it has no data available because I just submitted this one today. It is delivering, so that's cool. It's already been approved, but there's no data to be seen because it hasn't switched on yet. But during the time that it's been submitted for review and approved, then you will see it should say pending review. Okay, I told you I would show you that other type of ad that we can do. All right, so it's going to be a sponsored product one again. And once again, I'm just going to do another sponsored product. Crazy Rich Asians. And 0.32. See if a little higher bid gets us better impressions, better visibility. Okay, manual targeting, custom ad. I'm going to pick the same book. Whoops. There we go. Okay. There we go. Product targeting. So I'm going to put product targeting there, PT, just so I know that it's a different type of ad that I'm using. So this is interesting because you can go ahead and target your audience based on the category that the book is listed in or individual products. And I'm going to click individual products. I'm going to click on search, and then I'm going to type in Crazy Rich Asians and do a search. And now we can go ahead and choose and target our ad based on these items. So the little bit that I have played with this, I have not found a way to easily add all of these at one time. I have gone through and targeted them individually, which is kind of a pain, but as we could see, product targeting is still in beta. And when I clicked on the Learn More button, it didn't show me anything. It didn't, before I was getting a 404 error. So there isn't a whole lot of information on this type of product targeting right now. But it's fun to play around with these things and learn on your own. So we have selected a few. I am not going to choose 75 cents per bid. But unlike our keyword targeting, there isn't a place for me to add the bid that I want to put in for all of them. So I believe I said I was going to do 32 cents. Yeah, so now what I have to do is go in and do 0.32 for each one, but I can just easily just do a copy and paste, right? We'll get this over with quickly. I would like to have chosen, more books and more products in this series, but it's a little bit of a pain to do that right now. So we'll just do it this way and make sure we've got them all. Okay, there we go. Not going to do the negative product targeting. And then under creative, let me grab my grab a different bit of copy and pop it in there. And now I believe I'm ready to launch it. And there we go. Congratulations. Let's go to Campaign Manager. So again, you'll receive an email when it is pending review and also when it has been approved or rejected. Okay, so now we have created a couple of ads, and I encourage you to create as many as you like, because the more ads you have, the more successful you will probably be. Now that you have created a lot of wonderful Amazon ads that are going to be effective and sell a lot of your books, an important part of managing the ads is monitoring them. You need to make sure that you're not spending more on an ad campaign than you're earning, right? You want to make sure that you're getting a lot of impressions and clicks and sales, and if an ad isn't working anymore, it's probably time to stop it. Or on the flip side, if an ad is working really well, you can copy it and just make a little tweak, little change here or there, and keep that going to sell more books. So let's take a look at our dashboard once again. We already saw earlier that we can change the date range of your information. As this is an across-the-board information about all of the campaigns. We can also do that per campaign. So if we go ahead, and again, I'm going to take a look at an ad that's been running for a little while. So I'll click on that. And again, we can see right here, if I click on date range, how has this ad been performing for the last 7 days? Well, I can see that we've got one sale, 36,000 impressions, and our average cost of sale is about 12.5%, which isn't horrible. This is how much I've spent. And if I want to see a few more metrics, I can see the orders, cost per click, click, and click-through rate. So all of this is very important to keep track of to make sure that our ads are performing the way we want them to. In addition to monitoring and looking at the metrics that are being generated by our ad, we can also make changes on the fly to an ad that is already running and live. So if I click on targeting, I can go ahead and make some changes, such as changing the bid value of one of the keywords, one or more of the keywords. So let's say I do want to go ahead and change this keyword to 27 cents. I'll just click apply, and you can see it's already done. Once you click apply on one of the keyword changes, it will automatically save that for that ad. I can also change my negative targeting and my campaign settings. Again, this is where we can pause the ad if we want to, or archive it, which is pretty much deleting it. So again, these are some new features offered by the new dashboard for advertising. Now, I'm also going to show you how I examined and monitored ads and their performance before we got the new dashboard. What I would do is I would go ahead and from the main menu, not inside a specific ad, I would click export. And from there you get an Excel spreadsheet or a CSV, comma separated spreadsheet, and you're able to look at the different values from inside that spreadsheet. And I'm going to, in this next section, I'm going to explain how I use a spreadsheet to analyze my ads. This is still going to be based on the old dashboard, but a lot of the criteria and the data are the same. If you see some values or some labels that might be a little bit different, please just go ahead and, absorb the information and then try it out with a new spreadsheet. You might not even need to do this because the dashboard is really good at giving you this information right now. But in this next section, I will show you how to do that. So I'm going to double click on the divider between each column so I can see everything that's in the column. And this gives us a pretty good snapshot. All right, so we're going to highlight everything. And this shows all of the ad campaigns that are currently running. And then again, I'm using Excel, so this could be a little different for you, but I think that the major spreadsheet programs should all have the same functionality. So now I'm going to click on sort, and I want to sort by this column, status. We'll say OK. And now we can see that they are sorted by the status. So the ended and rejected, the ones that aren't running, whoops, I don't care about. I want to get rid of those. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to say delete, and they go bye-bye. And do I have any others? Yep, I have terminated ones as well. So we're going to highlight these puppies and click and delete. Now another item that you probably want to sort on is the campaign name. So let's go through this little exercise again and sort campaign name. Now I'm not necessarily going to delete any of these, but now I can view my ads by the campaign name, which is typically going to be a book, and then the keyword campaign that the ad is based on. So you can see I've got all of my Murphy's Miracles, SS stands for smoke screen, and I can see that the different impressions and sales and average cost of sale that is being generated. Now, a good idea is to go ahead and create multiple tabs in a spreadsheet, and for each day that you download the spreadsheet, go ahead and paste this information in there. And then you can easily compare the delta between your impressions on one day and your impressions on the next day. Now, I understand that it may not be feasible to do this every single day. life gets in the way, right? I totally understand that. But like I said, if you do it every few days, maybe every 3 or 4 days, and look at your data that is being generated by these ad campaigns, then you'll be able to have a very good idea about what is working and what isn't working. Now, I will say that there are some very complex and very detailed tools available. Brian Meeks has a really good one. There's another one out there by Mark Dawson, and I'm sure other people have created these analysis tools as well. I had a really hard time wrapping my head around some of these things. I don't think easily in spreadsheet format. So for me, just doing it like this and eyeballing it was so much easier. Making a book available for pre-order is an important part of your marketing strategy, in my opinion. There are some differing opinions whether or not it's a good idea to advertise books on Amazon using paid advertising if the book is not readily available, because you might be spending more money than you're earning. I did this with Murphy's Miracle. We had a pre-order campaign, and I did use Amazon ads to advertise the book. And I think it was a good idea, and I'll probably try it again. You might want to do some trial and error with this one, but I believe that the Amazon ads during this pre-order period helped us get this #1 new release banner. So I would go ahead and give it a shot. Okay, so another section of your dashboard that you might be interested in monitoring, like I am, is your billing history. Go ahead and click on that. And this area will show you what you have spent on your ads and what you're spending right now. So you can see that right now we're still accumulating. And the last invoice that I received, that of course I paid with my credit card, was right here. And I'm going to click on that. And this works with any of the invoices that you have. And you can see exactly how much money was spent on each of your campaigns. So this is handy for me because I need to know how much money is being spent for each book, because these aren't all my books. I publish books for other authors. It isn't only me. So if you're a publisher like me publishing books for other authors, this is probably something that you want to keep track of. Now, unfortunately, these columns, they don't let you click and sort like on your AMS dashboard itself. But what I've done is I have gone through here and honestly just taken a calculator and added up each amount for each book. So like all of the Murphy's Miracle books, here's Smokescreen. This is a co-parenting book that I have. So to me, that's very important to be able to do. Okay, let's talk about a couple things that could be preventing you from getting really good sales. The first one is that your ad just doesn't seem to be generating as many impressions as it should be. This could be a problem with your maximum bid. It might be a little bit too low, so try bumping that max bid up a few cents. You have a lot of impressions but no clicks. This could be an issue with your cover or with your ad copy. Either one might not be compelling your potential purchasers to click on the ad. You may have a lot of clicks, but you don't have any sales. And here I would take a look at your description of your book on the Amazon description page. Go ahead and try rewording the description, making it look better using the HTML tool that we talked about earlier. Look at the price. Is it too high? Try changing the price, kind of moving it down a little bit, and see if that generates more sales. Amazon ads really is a big game of trial and error. Like I said earlier, I recommend that you create a lot of ads and keep an eye on them closely and change one thing in one ad and another thing in another ad and keep track of the changes that you're making so that you know what works and you know what doesn't work. Okay, let's talk about moving forward and some additional resources that are out there. I hope that this presentation was able to give you a good understanding about how to start using Amazon ads to market your book, and I really do believe that it's an excellent way to start selling books. I have seen some pretty good success, especially with Murphy's Miracle. There are many resources available, some that you need to pay for and some that you don't. Brian Meeks has a really good book called Mastering Amazon Ads, and if you buy that book and read it and start doing some of the things that he advises, also go ahead and join the Facebook group. Dave Chesson, the Kindlepreneur, the developer of KDP Rocket, also has some free video courses on Amazon ads. And that's really great information for free. I was amazed at the content that he provides. And as I said earlier, I do recommend using KDP Rocket to gather your keywords. It's the easiest way to do it. Mark Dawson, who is also an expert in the industry, also has a course on Amazon ads that is part of his Ads for Authors class. And I recommend checking that out as well. Now, depending on your budget, some of these might work for you and some might not, but that's okay. There's a lot out there. And of course, there are a lot of podcasts out there that will definitely help get you started and teach you some more in-depth strategies for using your Amazon ad campaigns to sell your books. I want to thank you so much for taking the time to listen to my presentation today. My name is Diane Windsor. I'm with Motina Books, and I absolutely encourage you to reach out to me if you have any questions. I am happy to help if I can, and if I can't, there's always a way to find out, right? I will do my best to point you in the right direction. Thank you so much, and enjoy your publishing journey.